Kia ora everyone. We're from New Zealand, and astronomy in Aotearoa, New Zealand is influenced by our native Māori culture and its astronomical myths. We have just finished celebrating Matariki, the Māori New Year, which begins when Matariki, the Pleiades, rises in June. Māori star naming sprouted originally from the creation myths, where astronomy was a really big influence. In the beginning, there was nothingness, Te Kore, and out of Te Kore, Rangi Nui and Papa Tuanuku, the Sky Father and Earth Mother, were created. The world separated into Aomarama and Te Po. From these flowed the waters of life, and so were born the first gods. They pushed their parents apart so they could reach the outside world, and there was no sun, no moon, and no clouds. It was decided to cover the nakedness of Rangi Nui with stars. Tama Rerariti loaded the stars into his waka, the important stars into their own kete, and the stars with less mana were piled in. When the waka was due south, he threw out his anchor, Te Panga, the Southern Cross. First he placed the great stars, Rihu and Antares, Takura, Sirius, and Atutahi, Canopus. Then he tipped his waka upside down, spilling out stars to make the Milky Way.
Now we move to the current times, and New Zealand is still going strong in the world of astronomy. New Zealand is made up of 4 million people, around 35 million sheep, and a fair few astronomers. Ironically, we still adopt a Māori name for the country, Aotearoa, meaning land of the long white cloud. But to astronomers, New Zealand is everything but cloudy skies. Our main observing site these days is Mount John Observatory, owned by the University of Canterbury. Mount John has 4 principal telescopes, and because of its importance in global astronomy, Mount John is looking to become the world's first heritage dark sky park. This will place restrictions on lighting and pollution, preserving our amazing southern skies forever.
When you see a map of New Zealand, most people think it's just a tiny little island in the middle of the Pacific, somewhere. That's if you can find it on a map. But in actual fact, it's over 2,000 kilometers from the tip at Cape Reinga down to Bluff. Only 4 million people there, but 4 million adventurers and explorers. And I'd just like to mention a few of those people, some of whom you've probably heard of. We'll start with Sir Edmund Hillary, the conqueror of Everest. Bert Munro, of the world's fastest Indian. His record, set at the Bonneville Salt Flats in 1967, still stands to this day. A little bit closer to home, for people that are involved with the space industry, we have Sir Ian Axford, a personal friend of mine. He was the director of the Max Planck Institute for Aeronomy, Solar System Research, for 30 years, from 1974 to 2004. And finally, one of the most well-known New Zealanders of all, certainly amongst the ranks of NASA people, Sir William Pickering, head of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory for 22 years, retiring in 1976. A land of adventurers and explorers, New Zealand Aotearoa, the land of the long white cloud. Ka kite.